Greetings everybody, Foo here with part 3 of how to build your Polymer Armory DC17M for your Republic Commando. I got everything painted and assembled, and I wanted to walk you through where everything goes and give you a look at it before we get into part 4 with the electronics. Alright, here she is. Not too bad if I do say so myself. The only thing I haven't attached yet is the charging handle. I'm probably going to have that in the forward position. But let's take a look at the details here. Okay, so I did everything in a semi-gloss black to give it a little bit of a metallic shine, and I did multiple coats of that. I ended up doing 4 coats. One of them I had to sand down a little bit. If you do run into an issue where you got drip marks or areas where you see spots that it's just piled up too high, use a very high grit sandpaper, maybe a 400 to knock down some of the high pieces, but really 1000 grit is what you want to do. Otherwise you're getting right down to resin again and you're causing scratches in it. So in between layers, it's okay to just hit it real lightly with 1000 or even like a 3000 pad, just to kind of clean it up. And then after I got everything sanded down, I went back, and some of the reference pictures you see out there, well, they're not really reference pictures, they were an artist rendering, but a lot of people have gone with it, and I kind of like the way it looked. So I went ahead and I taped off area to give it the bracket on the sides here, and for the lower foregrip attachment, made that metallic silver, as well as the area right behind the slider here, the blast door, the upper part of the grip, and the details in the backstock. One of the cool things, as you saw the magnets earlier on the front, you've got your flip up sight post for when you switch to. That's also a locking mechanism, but the magnets, there we go. Everything holds that together real nice. There's the other side for paint, same thing. So you see everything snaps together real well. As far as hardware goes, when we look at it, you put your small flathead screws. They'll go right into the middle there, or go into the 4 corners and hold that in. And we already talked about the magnets. So you got 4 screws in there. You're going to have 4 bigger ones. I'm going to hit these up with a paintbrush a little later, that hold in the main assembly of the lower receiver energy cell. And then 2 small flathead screws that will go in this front corner and hold that in place. And your front sight post, or your leaf sights for your blast attachment, and your locking mechanism for the front here is actually going to have some hex bolts that come with it. So what I did is I put that in place, and I ran the hex bolt till I knew that it was going to run smooth, and then I actually ran a tiny drill bit, just a little smaller, all the way through, just to make sure that I had a clear opening, because I didn't want to crack the resin on top when I screwed those in. But that locks that down in place. Your magazine magnets in. This top piece sits right in, and actually what'll hold it in place will be this resin that squeezes in there nicely, and you can put a light up in there. And then this is a feature I like a lot, the slide. So this piece will actually slide forward and back. So when you go to the sniper attachment, these will actually slide back, and the arms will come up, and there's 2 magnets in there, and the arms will attach onto that. So that's actually really accurate the way that slides. I will be cutting this out and putting my electronics panel in there so that you can see the 3 numbers that come out. You've got a small rod that's going to hold the blast door in place, and a little tricky to get open, but blast door swings open. I did paint the whole thing that metallic silver, but that swings and closes shut nicely. Your back plate is going to be held in by 2 longer flathead screws that are sunken in, and then underneath you got 4 longer flatheads that will flush up and hold the pistol grip in. And then on the opposite side here, let me spin this over for reference. On the opposite side, this is kind of your access panel to get into your electronics. You got two elevated rounded head screws that you're going to need to drill out. And remember, when you drill with these, always use a drill bit that's just slightly smaller than your thread, so that you're actually gripping through material and not just pushing it into a big opening. You're going to have some flatheads that hold the two halves of the handle together. So this piece is actually connected just to this half of the pistol grip, and that'll hold together at the top. And then you've got two small round head screws that will hold the rest of the pistol grip together. And then you'll have one tiny flathead that goes in here that'll hold in this part of the pistol grip where it comes together. If it's a little tight, I actually sanded this part on this edge. I sanded it a little bit just to make sure it fit in there well, and then I'll just touch that up with a little bit of glue. When you do put this together, like I showed you before, when you get your spring in there, your trigger actually bounces back. So very accurate, and there's room in there to put your trigger to bounce off of it. And that should be all of the hardware that you need to put into this bad boy. So there it is. That is the Polymer Armory DC17 with blaster attachment, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Didn't take too long to paint it, and I'm looking forward to getting the electronics in it and showing you how that looks. And once there's a working model from some of the folks that I'm dealing with right now, I'm sure we'll post up there some different versions of that'll be for sale. So we will see you next time.